Hi, it's Mr. Wasemann, and today in this tutorial, we're going to talk about writing towards a specific prompt. And we are in Canvas right now, and as you can see, there is a Canvas quiz entitled Writing on Demand Narrative. Now, first of all, a little explanation. This writing prompt is going to be delivered in the form of a quiz, and it's a quiz with basically one question, an essay style question. Later on in the year, we might try some different delivery systems for our writing samples, but for our purposes today, we are just going to use the Canvas quiz and writing our response in the form of an essay question answer. On-demand writing is basically where a teacher or someone else gives you the idea of what to write about, and you are to respond within a certain amount of time and following a certain number of requirements. And this on-demand narrative story is what we call a pre-assessment. This is basically for me to get a better idea of what kind of writer you are so that throughout the year I know how to focus my writing instruction to better help you. So let's take a look at the instructions in this box right here. It says, in the space provided, you'll write a story about something interesting that happened to you. Spend about 45 minutes writing this true story about a specific time in your life from beginning to end. Let me unpack that a little bit. So when I say spend about 45 minutes, that means once you open up the Dropbox and are able to start typing, I want you to spend a little time planning and thinking about what you're going to say and spending a decent amount of time writing and possibly revising parts of your story. I'm not looking for one or two sentences. I want you to show me what you're capable of doing. So as you are writing, plan on spending about 45 minutes during this process. This needs to be a true story, meaning this is something that actually happened to you, not something that you dreamed about or something that you wish would have happened to you or just a piece of fiction. I want this to be an actual event in your life. And I want it to be one event. As you read further, this is not a biography where you tell me your entire life story. Now, if you want to tell me about the story of your birth, that's one thing, although you probably don't remember that yourself. So I really want you to pick an event in your life that you yourself remember happening, something that happened to you, and something that you can tell me about. So in your writing, I want you to make sure that you do the following. First of all, when you begin your story, give your story a title. Your story needs a setting scene, okay? That will include telling us where and when the story takes place in the beginning, who was involved, and what was happening. So you have to set the scene before you can tell the story. As you write, I want you to use transition words that tell me what else happened. Okay, your story is going to have a beginning, so you're going to explain the events of the story in the middle, and then you're going to come up with an ending. And in between the middle and the ending, you're going to elaborate and give me lots of details that'll help myself, the reader, and any other person that reads your story, what's happening, being able to picture it in their head, and then show me what this story is really about. Basically meaning that I want this essay to have a clear idea. Okay, so when I preview this quiz or I begin to take the quiz, you're going to see the same set of instructions in the question box telling you what it is that we are looking for in your essay. And since it is an essay form question, as you can see, a text box appears, and this is where you would start typing. And so the first thing you would do is you would write the title of your story. Now, I'm not going to write my own story. I'm just going to show you where I would type the word title, and then down below it, you would start to compose your story. Now, again, This is not how we typically write in school. Writing is a process, and it takes time to take a good idea and see it through the writing process, all the way through from the initial planting seeds to growing it and developing it into a story to the point where it's publishable and ready for public consumption. Uh, a writing prompt is more of like taking your temperature. When you go to the doctor's office, one of the things that the doctor will do is to take your statistics. They'll have you stand on a scale, and they'll measure how tall you are, and they'll take your blood pressure, and they'll take your temperature. Okay, these are the ways that a doctor can check your physical health. A writing prompt is a way that a teacher can check your understanding of the English language and how well you can apply it in writing. So that's basically what I want you to do in this text box space. I want you to tell me a story about you, something interesting that happened, that was real, and that has a beginning, middle, and end. Once you're done with your story, before you submit it, I want you to read it. Read it from beginning to end. Make sure that the idea percolating in your head actually made it onto the screen. Once you're satisfied with your story and you've given it some thought and effort, about 45 minutes worth, hit submit. Now you'll see up here at the top, there is a point value assigned to this writing prompt. Now, this is not going to be measured for content, or is it going to be measured for your understanding of language mechanics? This is basically just a participation grade, meaning that if you write something and submit it to me, you will get 5 points. So it's just a way for me to mark progress. I'm going to use your essay. I'm going to read your essay, and that's going to help me formulate a plan for my writing instruction for the days, the weeks to come. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, take some time to brainstorm a good story about you, something that I would want to know about you, and start writing. Thanks.